Hey, guess what, everybody? We're talking about the Snyder Cut again. Oh, King Wasabi. Okay, so I did a video probably a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, about the whole HBO Max streaming service, where HBO, I believe it's coming out in 2020, I believe, in January maybe, something like that, where that streaming service is going to come out and it's going to have all these channels, Cartoon Network, this and that, and it's going to have the DC Universe streaming service on there. Got a lot of people thinking, is the Snyder Cut going to be on there? Because when they came out with the promotional video for the streaming service, which was only a minute long, they show footage from the Justice League movie. Now, I don't believe any of that footage was the Snyder Cut, was Zack's footage, or it was all footage that was in the Joss Whedon Justice League movie. It had people thinking, you know, could they possibly release the Snyder Cut on HBO Max? And you've got this guy, Mark Hughes, who's kind of been coming out and saying a lot of stuff recently, last couple weeks, about how apparently he wasn't a believer. And I think he works for Forbes magazine. He didn't believe in the Snyder Cut, didn't believe it existed. Now he's coming out saying it exists. He thinks from his inside sources and everything, he believes that it does exist. He was talking about the 214-minute cut and how, well, he didn't say 214-minute cut. He said that he thought the Snyder Cut was 90% done. That's what he heard, it was 90% done. People were like, oh, great, okay, 214-minute cut is 90% done. He's like, no. And I believe he said something about the 165, 90% 165 is done. Whatever. So then, more recently, I believe he's saying that he thinks it's going to come out on HBO Max, which would be great. When are they going to let us know this? I mean, listen, I understand a lot of fans, including myself, we want the physical copy of the Snyder Cut. And I believe if it comes out in a streaming service platform, whatever, you're going to get that physical copy, depending on how good it does. If it's trash and then, you know, they put it out, let's say they put it out on HBO Max and no one buys the subscription, then they'd be like, okay, that was a waste. You know, we're not... I mean, they probably still would put it on DVD. I don't know. If this happens, let's just be happy that we're getting his cut. And again, everyone wants the 214-minute cut. I do as well. But if they're going to give us 2.5 hours of Zack's cut, whatever, just all Zack's work, I will take it. At this point, I will take it. You know, maybe in the beginning, maybe if after the Joss Whedon cut came out 2 months later, they're like, oh, we're going to release Zack's cut. And they're like, oh, but we're not going to release the whole thing. I'd probably be like more pissed off. But it's been a couple of years now. And it's like, okay, give us something. I don't care if you give me a movie that's an hour of Zack's footage or whatever, Zack's Justice League. I don't care. I don't care if it's unfinished at this point. I just want to see what he intended to give us. That's all I want. If it does come out on HBO Max, that would be amazing. I cannot wait for that day. I can't wait to stop talking about the Snyder Cut because I feel like that's all we do now as DC fans, DCEU fans, is talk about the Snyder Cut, which is awesome, which is great. It's bringing a lot of us together, and there's a lot of hate involved too, and you know, some people are getting out of hand with it. I want to move on. I want to move on to the future of the DCEU and be happy for that. And I can get this out of my mind and be like, okay, you know what? I didn't get Zack's 5-movie story arc, but I got the Justice League that I wanted. And I can be happy with that. And to feed off that, with the DC Universe streaming service that looks like it's going to be taken over by HBO Max. Okay, when that streaming service came out, it was very promising. You know, you're coming out and right away you're going to have the Titans on there last year. It's like, great. You know, this movie, I mean, the first trailer didn't look that good, but it was like, you know, this could be a promising show. And it was. I really enjoyed Titans. Then you have Doom Patrol. Then you have Swamp Thing. You know, the couple shows they've come out with so far have been great. They've been good. Today, I decided that I wanted to watch the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton. I go on there, and I'm looking, and I can't find it. And I'm like, what's going on? Is something? Am I in the wrong section? I'm trying all these other sections. I go online, and I find like articles about how it's on there, and it's not. And I'm like, what is going on? And you go through the whole list, and there's like nothing on the streaming service. You want people to buy this streaming service for, I believe, $8 a month, And you're not going to have any of the DCEU movies on there. You're not going to have any of the Dark Knight trilogy movies. Better yet, you don't have any live action Batman movies on there. And like I said, but I believe before they had a couple on there. Now they're not on there. When it comes to Superman, you have like a couple of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and that's it. The rest of it's animated. Now it looks like they do have a bunch of comics on there, which is great. And that's the cool thing about this streaming service is it has comics involved. So if it didn't have the comics, it'd be like you should be selling, or this should be like a $2 or $3 subscription a month. And I'm just like, at first I get pissed off. I'm like, what the hell? There's nothing on here. But it seems like they're getting ready for that HBO takeover, because HBO has a lot of DCEU movies on there and previous DC movies on there. It's like they're getting ready for that takeover. But you've got in a couple weeks you've got the new Titans season coming out. This HBO Max it seems like it's very promising. It's just the DC universe. I mean, when it gets taken over by HBO Max, it needs to just. I mean, you have when you have a service like that is so specific to one thing, to DC exclusives and comics, you have to have everything. Literally, you have to have everything. Because why would I, if I'm a DC fan, why would I buy your streaming service and you don't have what I want? You don't have the newer stuff. You don't have the best movies. That doesn't make any sense. But again, with that, it seems like HBO Max, they're getting ready for that takeover. And when that takeover happens and when HBO Max comes out, it is going to explode with content and have everything. And that is going to be, I believe, a powerhouse streaming service if you can have DC Universe with the comics involved and all these other stations and HBO and all the shows that they have involved. I mean, it's definitely going to be worth it. And then if you throw the Snyder Cut in there, boom, your subscriptions right away are just going to go crazy. Possibly you could be competing with the Netflix. You could be competing with the Disney Plus that's coming out. And who knows how good that's going to do. It's probably going to start off really well, but I don't know how it's going to pan out through the future. So this could be one of the top streaming services if they do it right. They have to do it right. So leave a comment below. Do you think the Snyder Cut is going to come to HBO Max? Let me know your thoughts on that. And please subscribe, because that helps me, and in return, I can help you. And as always, thank you for watching.